Hi everyone, it's Nick here with Nick Tolman Music, and we're going to go ahead and continue our beginner guitar lesson series using the Mel Bay's Modern Guitar Method Grade 1. Alright, so today we're going to go ahead and look at page 13. We're several lessons in now, and we've learned notes on the first three strings. We're still just focusing on those first three strings, but at this point, you're already playing some familiar melodies, and you're starting to see some progress, which is great. If you're still struggling with moving between the three strings, don't hesitate to take your time on the previous lessons and spend as much time as you need on each exercise to really master them before you move on. Also, if you have questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I'd be more than happy to help you out by answering questions that you might be having or struggles that you might be experiencing as you're moving along through these lessons. On page 13 today, we're going to be really kind of learning a new thing, but it's kind of funny in the book. They included some ties on the previous exercise. There is a little note on the previous page say, hey, we haven't talked about ties yet, look at page 13. Page 13 actually talks about ties, so we'll just kind of recap what a tie is. Now, you'll see it at the top of the page, there's an explanation. If you haven't yet purchased this book, please do. Obviously, these lessons, you're going to need the book in front of you to really be able to follow along with these lessons. I'll put the link in the description below, and you can get started by following along on these lessons. But a tie is just, it's a line, it's like an arched line that connects two notes, right? Now in most cases, for now, this can happen within a measure, but in most cases for now you're going to see it connecting notes between two measures. So the idea being, like if you have on this first exercise at the very end, you'll see you have a whole note, which is 4 beats. This tie goes over the measure and connects to a dotted half note. Dotted half note gets 3 beats. So that the total length of that note is going to be 7 beats, right? You're going to add those two notes together. You're not going to re-pick that second note. You're just going to let that sound carry through. Now for me, I tend to like to count these notes. I still just count the individual notes, even though I'm still just holding. It helps me keep track of how long I've actually said it. So on this note, you're looking at Psalm 100, the very last two measures there. You have that C. I could just like do the math in my head and say, okay, it's 7 beats, and just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 off. But to avoid the math step, like while you're actually playing the music, I tend to just count each note. So I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 off, right? So I counted the whole note, I counted the dotted half note, and off. I just held all the way through that, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, off. Let's go ahead and jump into Psalm 100. We're going to start at 72 on the metronome. Always using that metronome, keeping us steady, helping us to get in the habit of always playing in time, but also helping us to keep track of our progress, right? Because we might need to start slower, and we use this metronome to slowly build our tempo up until we can play these things as fast as we need to, right? Not all music needs to be fast, but we have to develop our ability to play things faster, okay? Here we go. Psalm 100 at 72 on the metronome. 1, 2, ready, play. 2, 3, 4. Two, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, off. Alright, that's a familiar hymn. You may have heard it before. It's a great exercise using the notes that we currently know. Issues to be looking out for, especially playing something like this, that's kind of like a hymn. It's intended to be smooth and connected, is just that, making sure that it's sounding smooth, right? That it's not sounding choppy, or that there's not space in between notes, right? Those gaps, they're really easy to get in the habit to. Hopefully we've ironed those out early on. If you're experiencing gaps in between notes, especially as you're changing notes, like the time that it's taking you to figure out what the next note is, might mean that maybe you need to go back and review some of the previous lessons and practice some of those easier exercises and getting them just right and smoothing them out before you move on to further exercises. And that's okay. Sometimes you got to take a couple steps back, review some things, and come back. It's all part of the learning process, okay? All right, so here are the chords at 72. 1, 2, ready, and play. Very nice. So this is a typical hymn, so we're not going to go too much faster on this one, but I will play it at 100 for you. We move up, we won't do our normal 120, just because generally I wouldn't play this that fast anyway. But here's the melody at 100. 1, 2, ready, play. Nice. Let's go ahead and do the chords. So here are the chords at 100. 1, 2, ready, play. Very good. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this next exercise, which is When the Saints Go Marching In. Obviously a very common song, one that I'm sure you've heard. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. So the thing to watch out with on this one is that there are these 3 pickup notes going into the first measure, and that similar type of pickup happens over and over again. Rest, bum, 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 rest, bum, 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 rest, bum, 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 bum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right, always kind of starting on beat 2 and then going up into the beat 1 of the next measure. So we'll do it slowly at 72, and then we'll do our 120, and then we'll actually do an even faster version of this one, as it would typically be done at a faster tempo anyway. But here is the melody at 72. which is going to feel excruciatingly slow for this song, but that's totally okay. If we need to start at this tempo to build up, then we'll start at this tempo and build up. And that's kind of what it's all about. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, off. 2, 3, 4. And there is a full measure of rest right at the end. Really just the idea is that we're counting through that rest. Alright, so let's hear it with the chords. Here we go. So I'll play the chords. I'll play the first pickup, and then I'll play the chords from there. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump this up to 120, and we'll try the melody here at 120. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 2, 3. 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Off. Good. Alright, here are the chords at 120. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Very nice. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and jump this tempo up to 168 to give you an idea of where you might normally hear this song. So here we go, 168. Here's the melody at 168. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Here's some chords. Here we go. I'll play the chords, you play along. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Nice, so that gives you kind of a goal tempo to work up to. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please subscribe. If you enjoyed today's content and would like to see more of it, please check out my Patreon page, and we'll see you next time.